Hello, my name is Leticia González and I'm going to present the work entitled Secondary Students' Emotions and Inquiry Performances During Their First Learning Experience in the Chemistry Laboratory. This study makes part of my PhD, which is supervised by Professor Beatriz Crujeiras. The study is framed in three relevant bodies of knowledge for science education. The first one is the approach of learning science through students' engagement in scientific practices, understood as the major practices that scientists employ when they investigate and build models and theories about the world. And in particular, we focus on inquiry practice. The second notion is epistemic knowledge, which is relevant for science learning in the sense that a higher level of epistemic knowledge allows for more productive learning about scientific practice and contents. In this communication, we focus on the disciplinary perspective of epistemic knowledge, which involves aspects such as acknowledging that the outcome of a single experiment is rarely sufficient to establish a knowledge claim, or that it is important to conduct a clear, honest, and accurate data collection. And the last construct is emotion that contribute to attitude formation, in this case to attitude to science learning. The research objectives in this study are two. The first one is to examine students' epistemics performance related to the inquiry practice, whereas the second is to analyze the emotions emerged during the intervention and their evolution. This study is framed in a qualitative approach and it draws from qualitative content analysis. The participants were two classrooms of secondary students attending physics and chemistry lessons in a public rural high school at the northwest of Spain and working in small groups of 3-4 students. The activity analyzed in this proposal is set in authentic context that requires students to investigate if adding an aspirin to a vase containing a flower bouquet and water would conserve the flowers longer. To do so, students were required to select the best procedure for 3 options, justify their choices and carry it out, as well as to draw the pertinent conclusions. Moreover, they were required to select the emotions they felt from a set of positive and negative ones before and after the inquiry task. It needs to be noted that the students were not familiar with the inquiry practice as well as with laboratory experience, and by the time of the intervention they were learning about scientific methodology. For data collection, students writing reports regarding the investigation were collected, as well as the merged emotions. For the analysis, different rubrics regarding the inquiry operations and the emotions were developed in interactions between literature and data. In relation to research objective 1, we focus on two inquiry operations, planning the investigation and drawing conclusions. Regarding the planning, most groups, 8 of 9, selected the adequate procedure. The analysis of their justifications in terms of frequency is reproduced in the table. According to the table, only one group provides a justification of their selection based on epistemic knowledge related to inquiry, proposing the following. It's procedure C, because it contains a more specific and concrete steps, therefore the result will be more reliable. In this example, students are considered the need of obtain reliable results in investigation, which is an epistemic aspect of inquiry, although they forget other aspects such as accuracy or replicability. The other justification are related to the step of scientific methodology or based on their predictions. Regarding the conclusions drawn by students after conducting the investigation, all groups propose a conclusion responding to the research questions. However, there are different levels of performance, as summarized in the table. 3 of the 9 groups draw conclusions based on the empirical evidence collected during the experiment, being one example the following. The experiment went well. The best way to preserve flowers is in water, as they are still preserved today. However, the flower with water and aspirin broke after 4 days. And after 6 days, it started to wilt. In conclusion, if you want to preserve a flower, just put it in water. In relation to the second research objective, the positive emotions prevail over the negative ones, both before and after the inquiry. There are 3 positive emotions that are more frequent than the others. Confidence and motivation selected by 19 out of the 35 students and 5 selected by 17 students. Regarding the negative emotions, the most common ones were nervousness, proposed by 11 students, and tension and boredom, selected by 10 students. In terms of evolution, it needs to be highlighted that although the number of positive emotions remains almost the same at the beginning than at the end of the inquiry, the negative decreased considerably from 68 to 42, and there is only one that appears frequently, concert, selected by 9 students. The conclusions that emerge from the results are a positive impact of the inquiry interventions in students' inquiry performances and also in their emotions. However, epistemic knowledge is little identified in students' performances. Epistemic knowledge is crucial for an adequate engagement in the practice of inquiry. Students need to be aware of why it is important to plan an accurate and well-defined procedure, as well as the need of replicating an experiment or the need of drawing evidence-based conclusions. Therefore, this type of knowledge needs to be explicitly addressed in lessons so that the students can mobilize it in their performances. And with this, I conclude the presentation. Thank you for your attention.